I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We welcome Starchivist Mir. Hi.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hey,
I'm Starchivist Mir.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Hi, my name is Starchivist Mir. I'm the Archivist of Dreams and Keeper of Hope on Irium US. I'm very happy to be here. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've heard that. Thank you very much.
Of course. It's my favorite thing to do. It's so funny.
For an old radio guy, that just brings you back so far.
Yeah, growing up big into radio, I did a lot of road trips with my family. So early 2000s, all we had was radio.
Oh, yeah.
There was no DVD players in the car yet.
Ah.
So radio all the way through.
Oh, yeah. That was a hobby of mine before I even got into it, was listening for distant radio stations. And I still do that, especially on FM. Sometimes when it's sitting in the middle of the U.S. and you get the right conditions, you can hear almost the entire U.S.
Ooh.
So there's some days when I'll start the morning listening to Nova Scotia on FM, and then by the end of the day, you're listening to New Mexico. Especially in the summer, it gets to be fun.
So
for me.
exciting.
Yeah. So did you ever get into radio? Because you got a heck of a voice for it.
No, so I've always wanted to do things like radio and podcasting, because I just had a big I grew up with it. I had a huge fascination with it. And for a while, I kind of feel like I would be in my room pretending to be a radio star host,
Yeah.
That was totally my thing.
Yes.
But as I got older, I started leaning more towards film and documentary. So I have a couple of documentaries I've made. I've done voiceover work in that, but streaming is kind of the medium ground between being a disc jockey,
Yeah. Oh, I think it's very much that way, and I think that a lot of VTubing is a lot like the old, disc spinners, where the personality is the thing and the voice is the thing for the most part. And you really have to show what you're meaning with your voice, because otherwise, although you do have a model as a VTuber, those of us who don't, we can flail our hands all over the place and it doesn't make any difference. We really have to get it across with what we're trying to say. And in radio,
gotta be super animated.
Yeah. In radio, that's what we did. I mean, sometimes we were, taking swings at each other while the microphones were on, but especially when we did the sports talk show stuff. But you really had to be had to project and had to really enunciate and get your point across. But you would absolutely have the voice for it. How many? You say you've done a couple of documentaries where you voiced them?
Yeah. So, oh God, where do I even start with this? So I was born and raised in New York City. Big Apple fan.
There you go.
Can't hear the accent. It only comes out when I'm real in a tizzy. But I was fortunate enough to get connected with this film program out there.
Yeah.
And I can't say the name because then you'd be able to find me.
No problem.
But yeah, I got connected with this film program out there and I worked with them. I made my first documentary when I was 16 and in high school about body image and what it felt like being a femme in a world that was always trying to tell you how to look. And that one was fine. Looking back, it's not my favorite piece of work, but I liked doing it. And from there, when a few years back, I made another one on union formation and union history, because that's something else that really piqued my interest. But aside from those two, I did narration work for that. I've always tried, you name it creatively, I've probably tried it. I did like I was part of the fanime community on YouTube where it's like people trying to make their own independent anime. I've tried right now I'm into game dev. I've made like a visual novel with some friends. I'm working on another like two more right now because I just liked it so much. I've done
Cool.
zines, I've done voice acting. I've done just about everything and the kitchen sink.
Oh,
You
neat,
know?
neat, and just hearing you talk about it, you can tell how much you've enjoyed it. I mean, it just you
Yeah.
it's you're smiling as you talk about it, so that 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 means
Definitely I can feel it.
yeah. I mean, really, it's great to hear. It's great to hear, and this really sounds like the VTubing type stuff. Really sounds like something that'd be right up your alley. I mean, were you interested in it right away when you found out about it?
So, trying to think back on it, I always wanted to do streaming. I liked the idea of people basically like to me streaming when I first started was just like, oh, hell yeah, free group of people to help me body double while I get stuff done. Um, but I never really got into watching streams and like enjoying those kinds of things because I could never find like a personality that I connect with. This is before the big VTuber boom, right?
Right.
And then boom, so many personalities, so many people doing different things and talking about different stuff. And I'm like, oh, I could try that, you know?
Hmm.
But I didn't have a great setup for it, so I never really got into it. But I started watching a lot of VTubers and learning how they do things. I wanted to make VTuber models for a really long time. I'm a digital artist.
Yeah.
Never really took off, you know? But I took the other path that a lot of VTubers start off, which is like yutaite work, which is producing vocal covers on like YouTube and covering
Oh,
like anime songs and
yes.
just generally like work like that. And I
Yeah.
did that for a very long time until I had, you know, falling out with some old friends and stopped doing it.
Mm,
Got back into streaming on a different app.
yeah.
And then I found Ethereum. And
Yeah.
so far, it's been really fun.
Well, I'm absolutely and totally humbled by your talent, and I will go sit in the corner for the rest of the interview.
No, no.
No.
You what you do is so cool.
Oh,
I honestly like can't can't imagine myself getting to talk to so many different people.
oh,
And
it's
like I
amazing.
remember you talking in one of your interviews how you don't have to write down your questions. That's
No,
amazing. As somebody who
no.
worked in documentary, that's a talent that a lot of people do not and will never have.
Yeah.
You're bowing to you right now.
Oh well, thank you. But it's a question of curiosity, and I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it until high school, and I was a
Mhm.
terrible student up to that point. I would not ask
Same.
questions. I would just like assume that I either knew or didn't make any difference whether I knew it or not. Um,
Mhm.
and then, of course, that helped me through the radio stuff a lot, and through this. You were right. There's no more. Um, you can't get any more variety than you get from VTubers, and the backgrounds and the talents are just incredible, and the stories,
Mhm.
and there's just so many of them, and people coming from all sorts of different backgrounds and what they wanted to do. I mean, you're here. You got had a chance very early, I guess, to kind of show off. Were you somebody in school who did the drama stuff? Did grab the microphone wherever you had a chance?
God, I wished.
Oh,
Yes. So I did a lot of like, so I went to a very, hmm, what's a polite way to say? I went to a very diverse kind of like crunchy granola mom school when I was in elementary school.
yes, that's one of those where
And ex
the more you go,
Mhm.
diverse it gets.
Yeah, like it was this like it was a charter school.
Mm,
And I got exposed to a lot of like arts and theater and stuff like that through my school.
mm,
I we didn't really have a theater program necessarily, um, but we had like performing arts and music classes and
mm,
like kids. It was a very looking back on it, wildly creative environment. Was it the one I particularly wanted? Not necessarily,
mm.
but it was way more creative than what other people were getting in elementary school.
Oh yeah.
Then middle school came along. I joined band. I'm a flutist. I haven't played in a very long time, but I bought a new one because I want to learn again.
You
Um,
flautist you. you you're
yes.
you flout you flouted all the time when you were younger, yes.
Absolutely. I took that like a fish to water. Like I was also somebody who didn't really do well in school, not because I wasn't smart or because I didn't get the material, but simply like I just didn't care.
Yeah,
I didn't care for it. It didn't spark my interest at all.
yeah,
And I took the creatives and with a curiosity and like a fervor that I just didn't have for my general education classes.
yeah.
So a lot of what my teachers did, what they would pity pass me so I wouldn't be left behind because I knew the material. I just wasn't doing homework or participating.
Right.
And then they would let me try exploring different creative things in class. And that was awesome. Big shout out to my high school teachers
Yeah.
because they engaged with me in a way that let me explore spaces with a more creative mindset.
Oh, I wish
Um,
they could do that with everybody, but it's because everybody learns a different way, and
mhm,
we're kind of learning now that the warehousing of kids like this isn't exactly the most conducive to
yeah.
bringing out their individual talents. But I'm glad you got the chance to do
Mhm.
that because I mean, obviously, I mean, look what you're doing now. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, that's pretty well, and
Big.
so they
Mhm.
got behind you and kind of did they open up some areas for you that you didn't know existed?
Yeah, my so I even as a student was a very big advocate for the idea that like the education system was failing a lot of people,
Hmm.
and I was one of them.
Hmm.
Because my school didn't really have much in the ways of creative arts once I got to middle school, high school.
Right.
And a lot of my teachers were very honest people and were like, yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of this by yourself. But here are some people I know out like in the real human being world
Hmm.
that I can connect you with if this helps. Like I had teachers who would go the extra mile even though they didn't really have the funding for it. We weren't a particularly like money, a very wealthy school. Like we were like on the lower end.
Mm.
But my teachers did everything they could that if they saw a student who really wanted to try, they would help them out. And I was one of those lucky kids who like there were extracurricular trips that they would sign me up for.
Mm.
The connections I made at that documentary and like film like program, they were always helping me try to get out into like animation because that's what I wanted to really do at the time. Still
Right.
do, but I don't
Yeah.
have the patience for it anymore. Um, we didn't have a theater program, but they sure did take us to plays, and I got to watch a lot of like all beautiful off-Broadway productions that like at the time didn't really care for, but looking back now, I think I would have liked a lot more when I if I was an adult.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's tough, you know, if you take a teenager, early teenager to Les Miserables for them to trying to figure out what the heck is going on. You
Hmm.
got a bunch of miserable people. Why am I here again? And later,
Yeah.
but now I guess you could probably look back on it in not just because of what you've been doing, and not just appreciate the play itself or the music itself, but the setup and what it took to actually get that thing going. You can,
Yeah.
yeah, and break that down. Like,
Exactly. Like,
boy, I like the lighting. I like the way this did this. I like this the audio
hmm.
setup. Um, that type of experience is invaluable to someone who enjoys the arts obviously as much as you do.
Yeah, like it's sorry, I'm a big gusher. Like I once I
Oh,
start talking, I can't stop.
no, that's
um
fine. That's fine. That's
it's definitely something like yeah, like you know you know how the sausage gets made now. Like
yeah.
you can't unsee it and you can think like even if I don't like the content of a play or I don't like the content of like a video or a
Hmm.
cover or whatever, I still appreciate and love and know how much effort and work went into making that thing.
Hmm.
Um I went to go see a production of Fiddler on the Roof
Hmm.
before I moved from New York because I don't live there anymore.
Right.
Um, to go support like a regular who came to my job a lot, and it while it wasn't something I was initially interested in, and I was really just going to support him, it was just such a good production that I'm like, damn, this is so cool. This There's a lot of effort that went into making this happen.
Yeah.
And you see it from like Broadway productions all the way down to independence. It's
Hmm.
like you feel how much effort put people put into their craft, and you can feel truly the statement of there's no small parts, only small actors
Right.
really shines through because the person I went to go see was playing like a background character, just part of the choir. but the way he talked about and how much effort he put into the few lines he did get, you really do see how much this matters to people. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Well, for something like that to really come together and be a good soup, all the ingredients need to be good. I mean, there it's
Hmm.
you could have you. I'm not a big person for watching plays myself, but when I'm into one and I watch it,
Same.
and somebody comes out and reads the line, "Hello, Mr. Smith, your clothes look so nice today," and it's just so off. That's such a jarring thing to have somebody who's not into it and obviously doesn't know what they're doing.
Hmm.
That's what you remember for the rest of the play.
Yeah.
You don't remember how great the opening guy was or the lead actor or anything like that. You remember Joe Smith in the background who played a tree that didn't work particularly well. It's that type of commitment is something that I admire. I don't know if I could ever do that. I don't think I could get up on the stage.
Hmm.
Did you ever have I can't imagine now, but have a problem with getting up and performing? It sounds like you're pretty comfortable with it.
When I was younger, yeah, so my whole like confidence and demeanor has come from like a lot of experience and a lot of trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you get this answer a lot from VTubers.
Yeah.
But I was a very nervous, very shy kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had a lot of like I had a lot of difficulty socializing.
Yeah.
Just because, like I don't know, I just didn't get it. When I was like really little preschool, all I had was my sisters. I didn't really have a lot of like kids my own age who were not related to me to play with.
Right.
So I kind of got tripped at the start with like communicating with people. Um, and for a while, I got so nervous about being like the center of attention that my head would hurt. Like, and
Oh,
now like I would get like panic attacks
right.
and stuff like that, and I would freak out. But like over the years, and this came again, like I hated my elementary school, but I do appreciate what they did for my confidence. I got the opportunity to stand on center stage a lot, and the validation I got from like adults and peers was always something that pushed me to try again.
Mm,
Because getting to hear from other people that like, oh, this is really cool. When you spent the whole time in your head going, oh, I messed that up, I messed this up, I messed that up, huh, it brings you out and go, maybe I'm as cool as I think I am. maybe I need to be like a little more what's the word? I guess not selfish, but more
mm.
self-loving about
There
what
you
I
go.
can do and
There
produce.
you go. Confident anyway. And
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, now I got to ask you this question because you've worked on all different levels of this now. When you see
Mhm.
somebody who is obviously talented but has the confidence level of zero, what
Mm.
does that do to you? I mean, does your heart go out to him? What do you want to do for him?
There is there it's a mixed feeling, right? It's like a lot of mixed feelings because like as somebody who was there once, but like I'm not so far removed that I can't put myself back in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
but it's enough that I'm like, yo, bro, what the hell? No, like
Mm-hmm.
you have to try. I get really sad because there's a lot of amazing artists and creatives and people with just like brilliant minds who are too scared to put themselves out there and like give it a shot at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they fail the first time, get back up and try again. And it's like, no, 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 no. It's okay. You're not supposed to be good at things first try. I had to learn that.
Yeah.
And it's something that like as sad as I am and as much support as I can give people, it is like a learned experience. It's something that no matter how many times other people tell you no, it's okay, that's something you have to come to acknowledge with yourself. Like for a long time, I would hear people tell me, "No, you're good at this thing. You're good at this thing." And I'm just like, I don't feel good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a very long time to go down that like emotional journey of actually I can do this.
Yeah. Well,
So
some people might
the
call
best I
that.
can support.
Yeah, some people might call it like an imposter syndrome, but I don't think that's right. I don't not, as far as what you're describing because that it's not really It's more like you just don't believe in yourself at that point.
Hmm.
And that's not to me. It's not quite the same. But how do you develop it? Is it feedback that helps you get over it? Is it rear view mirror looking at something that you've done? How do you get over
A lot of ways. Um, I I am a validation junkie.
that?
I need constant validation or else I will crumble. Um, which my friends have learned that like a lot about me. Like I need critique, I need feedback all the time. When I'm working on something difficult, I need someone to tell me like, actually, I like this part, but I don't like this. If I get too much praise, I'm like, nah, you guys are lying to me. Like that's how deep it goes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that, and it's a lot of like looking back at my past work and seeing, okay, this wasn't bad. This was not awful. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I recently was looking back at a lot of old art I drew and like objectively for when I made it, not bad. It was really good effort. And then I look back at what I do now and I'm like, I can see the lines of how I got from point A to point B, but I can also see the improvements. And that's also like a learned skill. Like you have to learn how to look at your stuff with an objective lens.
Right.
Um, so I think that's another thing. Uh Looking at your work objectively without like staying in the feelings you had while you made it
Mm-hmm.
is really difficult.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where the constant validation from my friends come in.
Yeah, and it's sometimes you have to have empathy for yourself. I mean, and
Hmm.
we talk about everybody around us having trouble with empathy, or in this society these days. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but sometimes you have to put yourself in your own situation. Where were you when you did this? What was
Hmm.
what did you know when you did this? What was your confidence level when you did this? And then
Exactly.
realize, well, it was pretty good given the situation that I was in. You don't have to doesn't have to be in the museum, but it's I'm pretty pleased with it. But it's also a tightrope
Yeah.
to walk between, being happy and being way happy with what you you know. There's the
Hmm.
folks who are you're strutting around that all you want to do is pop their balloon. Um, and it's like, yeah, you're really far too happy with what you did. But I don't get that from you
Yeah.
whatsoever. I don't at all. I just just from this little time talking to you, it's like somebody who you found out early that you got the ability to do some things, and you're you very quickly learned how to, instead of ignoring it, or just playing along with what went on. You got the opportunity to try some things, and you're willing to try to expand and continue that pipeline going. Um,
Yeah.
I wish a lot of people had that opportunity, but the fact that you've been able to grab it by the horns and take off says a lot about yourself.
Yeah, I like to think so. Like I didn't grow up in like the kind of family situation where like, oh, my parents were sending me to every program ever.
Hmm.
Everything I did was either I had like again, early 2000s, either I had to learn it in a book, I had
Hmm.
to learn it online, or I had to figure it out.
Hmm.
Or like public access children's television, learn how to do things, you know?
Yes, yes. People
Um
people don't even
that
remember
was
what that
the
was like.
ooh.
People people these days don't even remember what public access television was like.
Dude, those were my favorite days. Oh my God. There was this channel I used to watch. So I was a Food Network kid,
Yeah,
obviously. You
yeah.
can tell just by listening to me. There was like a channel like similar to Food Network, but geared towards like all children's stuff,
Hmm.
science experiments, art classes, cooking for kids. And I loved that stuff. And it's something that like my family was very supportive of my creativity and my exploration,
Yeah,
but they couldn't really monetarily support me through that.
right.
So they did what they could to give me the access to things. My parents were by like I like I said I recently moved and
Mm.
there is an entire 20-gallon like storage bin full of old decrepit spiral notebooks and like how to draw manga stuff and old books my dad had and he gave to me so I could try and figure it out, you know? I
Wow.
have like a very distinct memory of my dad getting this book on how to make comics and him sitting with me and my little sister making our own comics and stuff. Like I never stopped drawing. My teachers can attest. I never stopped drawing to the point where like oh God, my one of my social studies teachers, he's like, I have all these no like random journals that I have in my class. So I'm gonna give you one. You can finish that one. And then when you're done, show me and I'll give you the next one. And like stuff like that, you
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, it's just I'm glad you had that experience where
Hmm.
the instructors noticed and were
Yeah,
able to kind of nurture you in a way. But I always say this about everybody is that people are not the product of their circumstance, they're the triumph that emerges from those circumstances. And
exactly.
unlike some folks who maybe didn't get that type of support from their class, you grabbed the support you had and ran with it, and that's a big triumph in
Mhm.
itself. I mean, some there are some people, and I can probably point a lot to myself in this, that 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 might have had a chance to do things like this and just didn't for one reason or another. But you have embraced it and improved on it. That is it's a
Hmm.
massive testament to your thought processes and your talent and your want to. Um, I hope you remember that every time you do something because that's really it really is something. That's something to be very proud of.
Well, thank you very like genuinely thank you. I never really thought about it like that. Um, you can't like, you can't force someone to take a helping hand.
Yeah.
And I think, it's a testament to how passionate I am about creativity and making things
Hmm.
that I did take that helping hand because I'm like a very independent person. I
Hmm.
don't like asking for help and I don't always tell people when I need help, but I think those early days I I just wanted to make things and I took every opportunity I could to do it.
Hmm.
Um and there were definitely times where like I considered quitting. Like I genuinely considered quitting drawing because I could not feel myself improving and I felt like I was stagnant. And I had to go. I had a very tough pill to swallow as a teenager, which yeah, I feel like a lot of teenagers have, like the ego death of I'm not the biggest fish in the pond anymore,
Right.
and there are people who are improving around me a lot faster than I am,
Hmm.
and I took a massive confidence blow around like 16,
Right.
um, and I just stopped drawing for a very long time, and then I was like, you know what, I need to go find resources on this. I need to figure out why. Maybe I need to try a new creative field. Maybe I need to try some other things. Because to me, not being able to make things is it's death. Like it's a
Yeah.
total like we're done KO.
Yeah.
If I can't make something, am I really living or am I just surviving? And there's been like pockets of time in my life where I've had those moments of like I get so depressed about what I'm making and I don't like it anymore. But then it's like, okay, well, maybe this is a sign we take a break and try something else,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tremendous mindset. I mean, that really is because there's a lot of people, and I'm very much included in this, where if I put out an effort on something and it just doesn't work, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go lock myself in the bedroom for a couple of days.
Hmm.
Me and a few of the cats, and we'll be just fine for a while. and
Exactly.
and
Hunker down.
yeah, like that's a turtle mentality, but that doesn't sound like you at all. It sounds like you just pause a second, then look for the next mountain to climb. Um, that's I'm really flustered by that. It's pretty amazing to hear somebody able to do that and able to keep things going. I mean, is this a situation where if you've got something big projects going on, it's tough for you to concentrate on day to day things, or is it that much of your life? Do you get obsessed over it?
It's a lot of things.
Mm,
I used to have those turtle moments and I still kind of do sometimes
yeah,
when I get really overwhelmed.
yeah.
I'm just like, I'm just gonna not do anything and I'm just gonna go lay down and doom scroll on YouTube. But I you can oh my God, my best friend makes fun of me a lot for this. I can't stop, like I'm like a shark. I can't stop moving. And I'll like pick up projects as other ones are going on.
No.
Um, because I get bored. I get bored doing one thing for too long. Um, and sometimes the new project will completely engross my like every waking thought.
Yeah.
And I get so honed in on that, I forget I have another project happening.
Oh.
Um, and it's like, oh shit, okay, lock in, lock in, lock in. We have to distribute the wealth a bit. Um,
Do you sleep?
and it's like that. Do I sleep? All the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Love sleeping.
I
I
just
sleep so much.
I'm just wondering because you keep picking up projects. You've been working while you're dozing off. Uh, while it happens, it uh, uh, it does it amazes me what you're able to do with this, and a lot of the stuff I'm very jealous of, and I'm very quick to say that because I would love to be able to do some of the things you're able to do. Um, one thing that you mentioned that I want to touch on a bit is the
Mhm.
producing music producing type stuff. Um,
Oh yeah.
so did you learn to be a dial spinner or on your own, or did you take classes for it, or what?
So I was more on the vocalist side of things.
Hmm.
I like learning. I started learning how to do like music editing,
Hmm.
but it never really stuck for me because like I when I was learning, I was very much stuck in my way of I don't know how to do this.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna be good at it.
Hmm.
So that's the lovely thing about projects. You have a lot of people. Like I like working with people. I don't like working by myself. I
Right.
love working with others.
Yeah.
And I had to learn from like I learned from people in my group. I learned from YouTube videos and any concept I didn't understand, I just kind of went, we'll mess around. We'll figure it out. Recently I put out like my first cover
Mm.
after 5 years of not doing it. And I was like slowly but surely relearning the Reaper interface.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember which plugins did what. And while I'm not perfect at it, I mixed my first cover by myself. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Just twiddling around and seeing, okay, well, this sounds good, but that doesn't, in a very like kinetic baby way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you hand a kid some blocks and tell them put them in the right holes, and they're like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Just keep jamming that square one in there. Sooner or later, one of the holes will fit it. That's
Absolutely.
well. That's a great way to be able to do things. And as you will, we're going to snag that one of those covers because we're going to have our music special coming up in December with all of our guests. Um,
Ooh, fun.
yes. It was a lot of fun last year, and I'm looking forward to it again this year. Um,
Mhm.
so with that, I mean, were you doing it for other folks or just yourself?
Um, I was in an idol group.
Okay, now,
I
yeah, by the way, I was in an article. I know you're going for. All right, well, you're not getting away with that, so you're gonna have to.
huge flex moment, just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, casually. I was in an idol group. Ha
Jeez.
ha. To elaborate on that, this goes back to my whole like I used to do this with people who I don't really talk to anymore.
Yeah.
So part of me, if like the details are a little sparse, I had a friend when like I met through I talked about this earlier, the fanime stuff where
Hmm.
you make your own anime online.
Right.
Met a friend through that. And she's the one who introduced me really into like the world of making covers.
Right.
And even though, we're not friends anymore, I'm so very grateful for that.
Mm.
She introduced me to it. We did like back then just like recording on our phone mics and like
Yeah.
layering it in Audacity and then like, oh, that's good. Never produced it, never did anything with it. And
Yeah.
she came to me one day like, I want to make my own internet idol group. This was happening when there's this fun little bubble I like to talk about, which is like the quality bubble that comes
Yeah.
with every community.
Right.
When something starts getting popular, the technological advancements and standards skyrocket,
Right.
and it makes it a little harder for new people to get into. And we joined the Utaite community right at that, like, right before things started getting going from like independent kind of crunchy to people on their own were making industry level stuff,
Yes. Yes.
um that's always like a weird time to get involved in something because your skills, you haven't been on this thing as long as the people who are now making industry stuff, but you want to make that,
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
so she was like, I want to produce an idol group. It's going to be this like 12-man group. And, I'm 14 and I'm just like, yeah, sure. And we start doing that. And of course, it's like 12 teenagers trying to organize what would be difficult for adults to do, and it falls through. And
Hmm.
then we try again, and then that falls through. And we keep trying, and eventually we get to a point where it's like there's six of us. We finally produced our first cover. It's hard for me to listen to, but it's a very good milestone of how far I've come.
Yeah.
Um, and I learned so much about like how to properly record audio,
Yeah.
what makes a good vocal snippet, um, how like how to time yourself so that way when the person who's doing your audio editing has like less they have to know how to time. I have a really good sense of time, I learned.
Yeah.
Once I know a song, I can do it. You
Good.
can pause the song halfway through and I'll still be on time when you play this like you start the music back up again.
Wow.
Um yeah, it's like a superpower I didn't realize I had, and I to this day I don't really know what I'm doing with it. I feel like I should be doing more with it. But stuff like it was that. It was a lot of like trial and error, and inevitably because me and that friend no longer speak,
Right.
the group died and I hadn't really had a reason to produce covers anymore.
Hmm.
But I love singing so much that I was just like, all right, well we're doing this streamer thing again. Let's do some stuff. So I do karaoke streams.
Yeah.
I did one yesterday.
Oh.
Went for 2 hours and my voice hurt, but I had so much fun that I didn't care.
Yeah.
I produced like a joke cover of this like this song that was popular in like a fandom,
Yeah.
and that's the one I mixed by myself. I got really good reception.
Oh, cool.
I have some problems with it, but also
Well,
it's fine.
you're an artist, and artists are never finished. Never finished.
Absolutely.
That's what. So not only that, but you're doing the game developing stuff. You're doing the Irium stuff. I want to talk about the Irium real quick because
Yes, I'm happy to.
yeah, because this sounds really right up your alley. It is
Mm-hmm.
definitely different than the Twitch streaming or other types of streaming
Mm-hmm.
because it relies on you, the personality, so much, and you've got a larger than life personality. Is perfect for this. Um,
Thank you.
and is it easy for you to keep up with how fast this thing interacts?
Okay, so kinda.
Uh,
Um, I came from another vertical streaming app,
mm-hmm.
did that for 3 years and stopped doing it for a whole host of reasons. I'm not going to name drop there's like three of them. You'll figure it out sooner rather than later.
Yes.
But the whole appeal of like the vertical, like on your phone streaming stuff. Oh, I also used to do like this app's not around. I'll talk about it. This thing called Spoons, where it's like that was me trying to go back into doing radio. It was like
Ah.
audio only,
Yeah.
street like audio only streaming. Same with like Irium, where you had the chat and you were interacting real time.
Right.
That's no longer around, so I'm fine talking about it. But like I liked the intimacy of it, and I liked how easy it was to set up because it's just your phone.
Right.
I didn't have like a computer that could run OBS and internet and all this other stuff at the same time. So it felt like the barrier to get in was a lot higher. And so I had the practice already by the time I came to Irium. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is just like X app. I got this. Um, and I think my where I falter as a person is that while I can keep up with chat and while I'm very good at like bouncing off chat,
Right.
I struggle sometimes with like talking to air.
Mm.
Like those first 20 minutes are always a little like awkward for me where I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to do?
Right. Right.
I'm making small talk for a lot of it. And then a lot of the times by the 20-minute mark, I have a topic. I'm on a topic.
Right.
I just need time for my brain to rev up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really tough. That's really tough to do. In radio, we used to have these times where we would go to a lot of stations would have to hit the top of the hour perfectly for network news. And if we were doing music, music doesn't always fit that perfectly. And sometimes you'll have up to a minute and a half where you have to talk in circles in order to get to the exact type of, like, you're listening to WLOI. Here's the weather forecast again in a different language, and I'm going to do this. Here's the coming up in 2 hours. We might play a song by Herb Alpert. So you have to talk off the top of your head in circles. That's not an easy thing to teach anybody.
Yeah.
And really, if you're if you look at something like that, it's a pretty big mountain for some folks. But um,
Hmm.
once you're over that, though, and you find that focus, then you're able to go off on that topic. And a lot of it also depends on what chat does too, I imagine.
Yeah, and this is why I was so surprised when you asked to interview me. I just started on Ethereum. My debut day was like August 23rd, August 25th.
Hmm.
And I'm like, all right, jumping headfirst into it, you know?
Yeah.
Um, the first month was rough because literally the week I debuted, I had to move.
Uh,
So this is my real first month being on Ethereum,
yeah.
September.
Yeah.
And it's been so much fun. Like things were kind of slow to start, and I was a little like anxious about. I'm like, oh, I'm not really getting viewers. I don't really have people in here, which is I've come to the conclusion I'm okay with.
Hmm.
Because like even one person in chat is a person who's taking time out of their day to like talk to me,
Hmm.
and I've so far made so many lovely friends of people who are already streaming on the app, and they've been so kind to me.
Yeah.
They'll come by and we'll talk, and it's like, wow, everyone here is so sweet.
They're
And
supportive,
that's certainly helped.
which is really really kind of cool because when I'll go on and just say hi to someone I've interviewed or about to interview, then I get like responses from about three other people that I've interviewed that just happen to be on
Hmm.
that stream. Like, oh well, hey, how you doing? uh,
Yeah, like Jelly actually. Jelly was the interview I found like
oh yeah, yeah.
your program through,
Jelly's lots of fun.
and I love Jelly. Jelly is so
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah,
She's so
absolutely.
supportive and kind.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's. I'm glad to see that it's kind of taken off a bit, and it all offers a really good alternative for folks.
Hmm.
And this more than Twitch streaming or YouTube streaming really brings out that radio-like personality that you have to have
Hmm.
to in order for it to keep going. Um, you've got it in aces, obviously,
Thank
the
you.
way it goes. And it might be a little tough for other folks to get into that groove, but once they're in it and you just tune into a random stream and you see the things going so well, it's uh, it's really a sight to see. I'm really glad that this is available for you because I don't know with as many things that you're able to do, if you weren't able to do them now, I think you might explode.
Yeah, I would, you know what? I would evaporate. And the thing about like Irium, like about like how the accessibility and the people who are there and just like the general vibe, the cozy intimacy of it all. I love that. I love getting to just talk to people and yap and
Mm,
just like talk about nothing.
it's amazing.
Um,
It's so much fun.
because like yeah, it's just nice.
Yeah.
And it's like it's all the things I wanted to do, and I was like, I want to be on the radio. I want to talk about things. Um, it's got that same vibe for me, and I'm just like, yeah, this works because I spent a lot of my time just like when my if my friends weren't around to hang out, I would sit in silence and just get my work done.
Mm.
And now it's like, okay, well, that time where I was sitting in silence doing nothing, I can be streaming
Yes.
and I can be talking to people and spreading my wings a bit.
Well, I'm glad you're able to do that because we are the ones that are getting the benefit of it. Um, and again, this you've triumphed in a different way than some. You you had the opportunity and you seized it and you made the most of it, and that's a triumph unto itself. And that's
Oh, thank you.
I mean that's pretty cool. I'm glad we were able to hook up with this and we can do it again sometime soon. I'll go on your stream and bug
I'd
you
love to.
because um, it's just been it's gone by so fast. And uh,
Oh my God, yeah. I just
there's
looked at the
and
time.
there's so many things I haven't even asked yet, and I want to bring up, but we'll have to do a part two with you eventually here. Um,
I'd be happy to. This has been so much fun.
yeah, Starchivist Mir, again, you're on. Do you have a regular schedule right now on Irium?
Trying. I stream anywhere from noon CS Central Time to 1 p.m. Central Time. I try to start around there.
Okay.
So I'm a daily streamer. I
Hmm.
just got my daily badge last week. Yay.
Yay.
And we're just, it's a good time. If
Yeah.
I don't stream or if I stream later, I'll usually update my Twitter.
Yeah.
Starchivist Mir on Twitter. Teehee.
Folks, we'll have the links in the description for this interview. And again, thank you so much. This is a great interview to get back into it after a week because talking with you for a couple minutes will recharge anybody's batteries.
Oh, thank you. It's really sweet.
Mir, thank you so much, and we'll talk again hopefully really really soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And like again, always happy to chat. Let me know if you ever want to do another interview or whatever stuff you have going on. I love doing things, obviously.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.